Welcome to Reykjavík Grapevine's Newscast. My name is Valur Grettisson. I'm editor-in-chief at Reykjavík Grapevine. No Polly today, so I'm sorry about that. But a lot of things is going to happen and have happened. And yeah, let's go for the news. So, of course, there was elections in the U.S. Changed a lot, I think. We are here because of that. There is a huge history going on here, and I'm going to show you a little bit later. I'm show you why. We have this situation in Denmark where there are minks that had the COVID virus, and there's a lot of tension because of this. More about that later, of course. Also, what more do we have in news? Yeah, COVID. We have more deaths, but things are getting better. It looks better, although we are now dealing with the consequences of like having the virus in this old hospital called Landakotspítali. But first, we're going to go inside here into this very famous house in Iceland, and I'm going to explain exactly why, because it connects to the U.S. elections. So. So, this place here is called Höfði. It's a famous place that the city of Reykjavík owns, and they allowed us to record in here. It's pretty unique because they don't let anybody in here, especially not in COVID. But I want to show you both the house and I'll tell you a little bit about the stories. But we have to start on news. So I'm going to close the door here. Not only that, there are also ghosts in here, so I'll tell you a little bit more about that. First of all, the COVID in Iceland is bad. You know about this, of course. We have now confirmed 23 deaths from the virus. 10 of those are connected to the hospital Landakotspítali, Landakots Hospital. This hospital was almost only had older sick people, and for like a really bad mistake, it ended up that they got the virus. In the first wave, we had 10 deaths, and just so you understand, like the gravity of things, we had 5 deaths just over this weekend. If you want to understand like what that means to Icelanders, like the whole last year, we had 6 deaths in traffic, like in 12 months. So 5 deaths in 3 or 4 days is absolutely it's a really bad toll for Icelanders. We had 16 diagnosed yesterday with the virus, and we were almost up to 100 in one day at our worst. Yeah, check out this room here. This house actually, Höfði, used to be also the home of the U.S. Embassy, like in the Second World War. But 6 months after the ambassador actually moved in here, he asked to get another house, because he has said that there were so many ghosts here, or like he couldn't work because of ghosts. Imagine that. Anyways, we're now. COVID is down to 142 per 100,000, which is really, really good. The social restriction in Iceland will be the same until at least 17th of November, which means that we have this gathering ban of 10, and it's like a lot of things that will be off limits, like haircuts, swimming pools, the gyms, of course, and so on and so on. But hopefully they will loosen up a little bit in the 17th. But the epidemiologist, top epidemiologist, he says it would not be a lot of changes. Here's Louisa Matthíasdóttir. She actually lived in the U.S. Was a fantastic painter. When it comes to news, then the Icelandic Food and Veterinary Administration, veterinary, I think, sorry, It's called MAST in Icelandic, so it's like Icelandic Food and Veterinary Administration. They will start carry out COVID-19 screening on Icelandic Mink Farms in light of mutation of the virus in Denmark. V.S. reports 1,150 mink farms are in Denmark. A mutation there are on minks like on 200 farms. The Danish government have said that, ordered for that to kill all minks on these mink farms in Denmark, which are 17 millions. Imagine that. Although there is no evidence of mutation in Icelandic minks yet, we have around 15,000 animals in 9 farms, all in the countryside. But we are now testing them, and we're going to see if they have the same mutation, because this mutation could go into the people, and it could even be more complicated, which means that the vaccine would not do any good on it. So it's a real scare, but this has also sparked a debate. For example, did we have mink farms in Iceland? It's we didn't really know about this. Well, we knew about it, but we didn't know it was a thing still. So the people, the Icelandic Vegan Society they are now demanding that this should be just closed down altogether. It's a cruel thing to do. These animals are more or less just slaughtered for their fur, and I think they have a point, the vegans. Also, why are we here? Let's just go for it. I've been showing you these surroundings here, which is absolutely beautiful. This is, of course, like I said, Höfði, and the reason is that we have here, like you can see, the Soviet flag, and the other side, the American. I'll sit on the American side now, because the Americans, of course, the U.S., of course, elected a new president. This is in some ways, of course, the alt-right, of course, say, well, because Trump hasn't succeeded yet, means that they are not so sure who won, but it's pretty clear from the math who is the winner of this. But Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan, they came here in 1986, and they had a very dramatic meeting at the time. But before I get into that, I want to say that Icelanders are very happy about the result. The reason is that Icelanders are, like I said before, a very pro-democratic party. Even our far-right party, Independence Party, which is not that much to the far right, they identify much more with the Democratic Party than ever the Republicans. Also, Katrín Jakobsdóttir, our Prime Minister, she sent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris a greeting through Twitter and, of course, officially. The same did our President, Guðni T. Jóhannesson, which means that the Icelandic officials, they have recognized this victory of Joe Biden and are in no doubt when it comes to it. Also, probably what has been most in the media, for today and yesterday, was basically this 4-season landscape meeting with Rudy Giuliani, which was a complete mess. Icelanders have been laughing about this hysterically past days, or past hours at least, and the social media is riddled with it. It's, of course, for those that don't know anything about it, it's about this odd meeting where they booked the wrong place for some reason to have a meeting. And also it's an important note to take, that a place where to meet and get your message out really matters. And this is also why Höfði is always the meeting point. When Mike Pence came here last year, he came to Iceland, to Höfði, to talk to the mayor and more so. And perhaps if you go back to the news, perhaps I can show you. You can see all the companies around here. For example, Advania, which is here, they all put up the gay pride flag, because Icelanders are, of course, very liberal when it comes to queer people. But why are we here? Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev, they met here in 1986, and they planted the seed of ending the Cold War. And not only that, it was basically the beginning of the end of the Soviet Union. Of course, historians are not on the totally same page here, and you could say that the Soviet Union, the seed was planted perhaps when Khrushchev said that when he basically recognized the cruelty of Stalin era. But they sat here, these guys. You can see a picture here of them. Here is Gorbachev. And here is, of course, Ronald Reagan. They sat here in these seats. And what they did was that this simple conversation, which of course took days and was not simple at all, it ended with such a result, historic result. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because it's incredible, in fact, that Joe Biden his main purpose right now is unifying the nation. And by unifying the nation again, it has never been actually more important, basically because the social media and of course politicians as well as the media have been devising people in such a brutal and aggressive way. It means that nobody's basically talking together. Everybody's just shouting at each other on the internet. It feels like it, at least. Of course, it's not always the case. But the importance of just talking together, you can see this in this exactly the same photo, is so important, because it can end a regime like totalitarian country like the Soviet Union, and a war like the Cold War was. It's just a conversation between two people. So how complicated can this be? So the paintings here are fantastic. This is Louisa Matthíasdóttir. I mentioned her before. She is one of our absolute best painters. And here is one Gunnlaugur Blöndal made. It's called Stúlka með greiðu, or just a girl with a comb, like she's combing her hair. This painting became like a really divisive kind of thing in the news, because it was the same painting, not exactly the same, but a similar one, but the same like posture and the same breasts. It was hanging in the central bank of Iceland, but there were some women or people that actually they talked like namelessly. They reported this painting, said it was like uncomfortable to have this painting because of the nudity in it. And this became like a huge cultural fight in Iceland for some reason. And they ended up actually taking down the painting, but here it's hanging in Höfði. And as you can see, it's perhaps in some sense bold, but in the central bank, it's too much. This is Höfði. So it's like it's almost the downtown area, close to Hlemmur, where the buses stop. But this is it for me, at least. I'm really happy for the new president. I mean, I was always more of a Biden. I rooted more for Biden than Trump. I think Trump was not a good president. But yeah, please remember, of course, our High Five Club membership. Remember, you can also be, you can subscribe to our magazine. We're trying to do a new one now, if not the 20th of November, then 26th of November. So we're working on it, but the restrictions are so rough. It's hard to make any plans actually. But until then, you can go to our homepage, grapevine.is, and our online shop. We're selling a ton of stuff, Icelandic culture and poly t-shirts and whatnot. And when everything will open up again, then perhaps you can visit this place. It's a lovely place. I feel good here actually. There is a nice vibe going on here. So I think if there is a ghost, it's a nice ghost. But thank you. That's it for me. Until next time, just keep on watching and reading.